Whether you're looking for vibrant scenery, job opportunity, or just a fresh freaking start, this page is the right one for you. I'm here to help, and we're going to find the right fit for you. Are you planning to move to Africa but just unsure where to start? After traveling and living in multiple countries, I want to share with you my personal experience in 5 African countries, specifically cities. So I'm going to be talking about Lagos, Nigeria, Angola, Rwanda, Cairo, Egypt, Zanzibar, Tanzania, and also Ghana. What makes them great, but what you should look out for as well. So I will be giving you the pros and cons for expats, specifically African Americans. Oh, and FYI, I have 2 cats. So if you see them, they like to make appearances whenever I am recording anything or on Zoom. So just say hi to Sakura and Hinata. And yeah, maybe in another video I'll explain why I gave them their names, but you get the hint if you know anime. Yeah, let's get started. Hi, I'm Dominique Wilson. I am a world traveler thanks to basketball. Yes, I am an overseas basketball player, and every time I come home, people always ask me about my experiences, but specifically, how do they treat, people of my skin color over there? So, I am making videos basically giving the tips that I give the people that I see back home in Atlanta, Georgia, right here to a larger audience. And I do have a passion with helping people find their perfect home abroad, specifically African Americans, because I can only talk about my experience. I am African American. I can't speak for no other Black people in the diaspora. So yeah, if you're trying to move based off of, the political aspects in this country, or just want a new scenery, yeah, I got you. This video is just going to quickly talk about those 5 cities in the African countries, give you the pros and cons, a quick layout. I'm going to have other videos that are just going to talk about one country in particular where I can dive deeper into it. You can ask me questions, of course, and I can probably make another video answering your questions. But the videos that will come after this will be more in-depth. Whether you're looking for vibrant scenery, job opportunity, or just a fresh freaking start, this page is the right one for you. I'm here to help, and we're going to find the right fit for you. This is what I specifically look for in a great expat destination. So, number 1, affordability. 2, safety. 3, expat communities. 4, quality of life. And 5, job opportunities. Now, let's explore these countries and cities based on these factors. Number 1, Accra, Ghana. Ghana is a bustling city with strong cultural roots, and they have an expat communities. So of course everyone knows the celebrity attractions, but Ghana has a population of about 3 million people, and as many as 1,500 Black Americans, expats, have moved into the country since 2020. So this number probably increased. We will look into that in my later videos. But many African Americans have already settled here. So you can find expat communities. I will give you one right here in this video. So one expat community in Ghana, which was actually created by African Americans, expats who have moved there, and it is called the African American Association of Ghana. And it's one expat organization that helps new residents navigate and connect. So that's very important. If you move there and you're feeling like a fish out of water, hit this organization up. They got you. They will take you in their arms and just makes moving there a lot easier. So the places I visited in Ghana while I was there was the Ghana Museums and Monuments, the Independence Art, Accra Metropolitan Market, Cape Coast, where we went to the slave dungeons, which that was an experience. It was very sad, but you also felt the energies of the, the damaged people that were in bondage there. So shout out to our host, the guy that was showing us around, giving us the stories. I would suggest every African American that goes to Ghana to visit that dungeon. Kakum National Park, I probably murdered that, and the Booty Waterfalls. RIP to my sunglasses. My sunglasses decided to jump off my face when I decided to walk into the water and get closer to the waterfalls. I took a picture, I turned around, and all I know is that my mom was saying my glasses fell into the water. So anybody that has my glasses out there in the picture, like you see, I hope you enjoy them. Tell them I miss them. Really, I really miss them. So let's go into the pros of living in Accra, Ghana. So one pro is the affordability there. You have affordable housing, affordable grocery. You have a welcoming community. The locals are very welcoming, and also is a growing opportunities for expats in tech and business. My experience when it came to the affordability in Ghana, just to give you a breakdown of the Airbnb that we stayed in and food and groceries and when we were traveling. My family stayed in an Airbnb. It was like four of us for, I believe, 1,100. So that's kind of like, quick math in my head, $275 per person. But she's actually going to rent the same place in July, and she's gone with her friends, and they're only going to spend like 800 total. So it all depends on when you do travel to Ghana. When we went, it was in September, and she's going in July, so it seems like the cost is cheaper during the summer. Maybe again, you just want to check when you go and just compare your options. Also, when we were out, we just grabbed food. The food was very inexpensive, honestly. We had a whole breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and probably didn't spend more than $25 with all three meals. We didn't cook a lot, and when we did, it was for one night, and we got quick groceries. Again, we didn't spend more than, I said groceries probably came, it was four of us, probably came about $40 because people wanted different things. But again, that is inexpensive compared to America. You could just go to a Publix or Kroger's or whatever store you have in your state and pick up 3 items, and the total will probably be $40. You see the difference there. But I did some research, and honestly, for a single person to live in Ghana, you should budget between $500 to $1,000 a month. And for a couple or a family, it's around $800 to $2,000 a month. So you see the comparison there. Again, for my African Americans, it's a lot cheaper. Honestly, some HOAs where some people live is $500 to $1,000. So again, Ghana is very, very inexpensive. To talk about my experience with the locals, they are very welcoming. They're sweet, kind people, honestly. When I was there and my mom, she went there before us, just to give a background, and I can't remember his name, but she ended up basically calling him her son, and he reached out to us on Instagram, and we already created this bond with this man. And when we landed in Ghana, we finally got to meet him in person. He picked us up in the airport, took us to his job where he worked at this nice cafe. We got some coffee. Again, just very welcoming, very sweet. Our tour guide was sweet. He actually was asking my brother and I if we wanted to go to the club with him afterwards, because that's just what they do. The party scene there, I guess, is lively. I didn't go. I was very tired. And when we went, it was raining a lot. I think we went on the rainy season because we went in September. I have to, yeah, we have to go again. I have to go again and just stay for months so I could just, get the comparison. Yeah, so he was telling us that the party scenes is lively, people dance, great food. So I need to experience that part of it because I'm not really a party person. Whatever, you can judge me. But my brother was going to go. He ended up not going. He ended up falling asleep. But again, the people were lovely. They could tell that you're American right off the rip. I don't know, I guess it's how we walk or how we present ourselves or our aura, but it doesn't matter. They just smile, they say, "How are you?" Very lovely people. If you're looking for that in a community with people that are open, sweet, and would just make you feel warm inside, you don't have to feel like you need to argue or you're going to get into a fight every time you walk down the street. Gosh, place. And mind you, this is a community is in Africa, so you're gonna see lovely black faces. You're gonna feel welcome. You're not gonna feel threatened like you would in the United States. And again, if you're looking for a community based on your work, Ghana is big on tech and business. So cybersecurity, or if you want to be a business owner, check out Ghana. Again, I'm going to create another video that will go more in depth into specifically what job offering for tech or for business, quality of life, etc. But again, this is just a quick rundown for each city in the 5 African countries. Another pro when I think about Ghana is safety. I felt very secure there. Again, the people are very welcoming, but you still need street smarts, of course, just like any other place you travel to. You just have to keep your head on the swivel. Just make sure you're going to the right places. Watch out for theft or any petty crime. But generally, Ghana is a peaceful country. They have a low crime rate. So just take it how you would when you go any other place. Just stay smart, stay safe, and be aware of the possibilities of petty theft. But expats have already reported feeling welcome in Ghana and Accra, and feeling safe and secure. Another pro for me, I would say, is the climate. I am a hot body. I love weather that is super hot. Again, when I went, it was raining a lot, but the weather was still warm. Still walked out with, tank top, shirt, shorts, sandals, what have you. But the climate has a high temperature, but also have rainy seasons. Again, I think I was in a rainy season when I went out there in September. But typical tropical weather, so expats may be surprised by the climate when they first move there. So tropical weather, you're going to get rain, you're going to get sun, you're going to get some clouds, but altogether it's warm, hot weather in between. It's not really going to get too cold. I think it might drop down to maybe 70, if that, as the lowest. Last pro is the quality of life. So again, the quality of life in Ghana is just a thumbs up all the way around. You have rich cultural connections with an emphasis on community and heritage. Again, they have a vibrant lifestyle with music and art and just a strong cultural background, and very welcoming towards African Americans, expats. Again, you have that African American community that will help you with navigation process and just help you feel at home if you do decide to move there. All right, to the cons. So I've said wonderful things about Accra, Ghana. I love it. I love it. But just like any other city, any other country, you are going to have problems. And with Ghana, the problem is the traffic. Listen, when I tell you the traffic is bumper to bumper, and not even talking about, how they drive, even though I feel like they drive better than in Lagos, Nigeria. I will get into that when I finally speak on Lagos. But the traffic is insane. The traffic, like I wrote down, can be overwhelming. And some services, so like taxi, shuttles, buses, etc., may take some getting used to. But just like, as it is taking a taxi or bus in New York, honestly, except the drivers drive chaotically, but with control. So chaos, but with control. So I just advise, shut your eyes, don't look out the window while they're driving, and your anxiety level will be at an all-time low when you get to your destination, probably 2 hours after you leave, because the traffic is bad. So just remember, patience is key when you are navigating through rush hour. Yeah, good luck. Overall, my experience when living in Accra, Ghana was, I'm not even going to give you a number rating because it's different for everybody. I'm just going to give it a thumbs up. It was great. I will definitely go back again, especially not during raining season. I want to get that hot weather on my body, but I will give you a brief list of the pros and cons on this video screen now, so feel free to pause it and write down just a quick jot down of the pros and cons. So, here's 5 seconds. Okay. Number 2 is Lagos, Nigeria. And just to remind you that the numerical order is not based on from the best to the worst, whatever. Honestly, there's no numerical order. I'm just listing them as I go. So once I give you the pros and cons, just take it how you will. If you like it, if you like what you're hearing, great. If you don't, great. Okay, back to Lagos, Nigeria. So the overview of Lagos, Nigeria is a powerhouse for business and entertainment in Africa, which is very true. I will get into that. And it prides itself as the most popular city in Africa. Just love that Nigerian pride. I'm joking, I'm kidding. And the economic capital of West Africa. So one of the busiest cities on the continent and home to many businesses. So I will list the place that I stayed when I was playing on the Nigerian national team. We were out there for, I want to say training camp was about a month. And we probably, yes, baby. If you hear my cat, that's one of them. But I think we're out there for a month and a half before traveling to Spain. They got to travel. I did not. I will get into that briefly, but probably when I make a separate video of Lagos, Nigeria, I will talk more into that. We will see how my comfortability level feels. Yeah, so I was out there for about a month and a half. We stayed in this luxurious hotel that was right on the beach in Lagos, Nigeria. For some reason, they had the beach blocked off. I think they were building other hotels, other buildings, infrastructures on there. So we really couldn't walk onto the beach, but I had a beach view from my hotel room. And it was beautiful. I really loved it. It wasn't one of those. The water wasn't one where it was like super blue and clear. It had like that grayish look to it, but it was still pretty. And just to speak on the entertainment part, so when the team and I were staying in a hotel, they were actually having I believe it was the AMAA, the Africa Movie Academy Awards. So all the like A-list celebrities in Nigeria and other African countries were having that award in this hotel. So that just tells you how big this hotel was and how nice it was that to throw a movie award there. So we got to actually go to award for like, we were there for 30 minutes. But yeah, so I had a good experience. I got firsthand experience on the entertainment part and just I have to find these pictures. If I find these pictures, I will make a separate link so you can see them. I don't know where it is and it's bothering me, but I will put the name of the hotel and the gym that we use to train in the notes at the bottom, because right now I can't find it, but I will. So Lagos, Nigeria, great for business and entertainment. Thanks, Kat. So some of the pros are thriving industries, networking opportunities, and a vibrant cultural scene. So the nightlife attraction, Lagos is known as the city that never sleeps. That tells you everything you need to know about the nightlife. They do have a significant African American presence there, and they have multiple attractions and architecture in this city that is stunning. Honestly, the city is beautiful. I remember being on the rooftop of the hotel, just looking at all the lights, all the cars driving, and just thinking like the city is beautiful compared to some of the cities in America, honestly. And home to many notable companies and top educational establishments. Another pro is the cost of living here. In general, 59.3% lower than in the United States. That is a big plus. A single person estimated monthly cost is around 600 without rent, and a family of four can estimate around 2,200 without rent. And rent in Lagos is on an average of 75% lower than New York. So again, another city, country in Africa that you would get a lot of bang for your buck. Yes, baby. You would get a lot of bang for your buck here. The dollar goes a long way. And again, as you see, if you just go by yourself, your estimate monthly cost is $600. Again, there is HOA and rent higher in America. So yeah, again, it's a win-win when it comes to cost of living. Based on the African American communities or expats in Nigeria, there's a community who are part of the Blacksit movement. So Blacksit is a term used to describe the trend of Black Americans moving to West Africa and the continent of their ancestors to start new lives. So again, when I make a separate video on Lagos, Nigeria, I will get more in depth into the community part. Another community is Internations. It's a community for expats that offers networking, socializing, and events. But when it comes to my experience with dealing with Nigerians, I just want to start off by saying I love you guys. I really do. But when I was there, I found it funny that we can wake up at 6 a.m. to eat breakfast before going to the gym for training camp, and y'all was on the waiters, the services heads at 6 a.m. in the morning, like just on them, rude for no reason. I didn't get that. And then turn around, I want to say grace and pray. Again, this is my page. I'm going to talk about my experience. So, of course, people can have different experiences, of course, but that's what I saw every day. Every day. Of course, the first day I was like, oh, maybe, they're cranky. It is 6 a.m. No, we were out there for a month and a half. That was every day. So, the community there, I can't even say my team because the service people there were rude as well to me. Why? And then when we were out at the gym, I've noticed a lot of children that were walking around with crutches and with one leg. I need to research on why that was an issue, why it was so many kids walking around with one leg. I do not know why. Kids, I don't know why. But the people there loved basketball. They watched our practice, even though, it was a closed practice. They found a way to get in. They were at our scrimmages, and they were just so in tune. They were screaming. Some people brought drums. They really loved it, and I enjoyed that part. I had a blast when it came to playing basketball in front of the community there. But again, when it comes to Lagos, Nigeria, it was 50-50 for me. When I'm big on treating people with love, giving love and respect to others. And yeah, it just, they didn't catch that memo when it came to just giving people who are servicing you with respect, but also the servers were rude to people that were staying in the hotel as well while we were traveling. And I don't know, y'all tell me in the comments, how was your experience if you visited Lagos, Nigeria? Let me know. Going into the job opportunities, it's like 50-50. There's some pros and cons to it. The con with the job opportunity is I've seen that you must obtain a Nigerian visa first. But the pros is the healthcare sector is among the most lucrative field in Nigeria. So doctors and surgeons are really important when it comes to Nigeria, but also Lagos, Nigeria. So if you're a doctor or surgeon, I'll say look into what they have over there for you, and how much you will get paid, and just the opportunity. And last but not least, for the pros, again, climate. In Lagos, Nigeria, they have tropical, wet, and dry climate with two distinct rainy seasons and a dry season. So average yearly temperature is around 85 Fahrenheit. Hottest month is March with an average of 90 Fahrenheit, and coldest month is August with temperature of 77 Fahrenheit. Now, let's get into the cons of Lagos, Nigeria. So the cons that I found living there, but also just research, was heavy traffic, pollution, yes, pollution, and security concerns can be challenging. As you heard, my African Americans, Nigeria is the land of the scammers, for sure. And I'm just gonna go into my story, how I got scammed. It ended up with me almost going to jail. My visa almost running out, literally getting my passport took and given back to me on the last day that my visa was going to expire. So they gave it to me and I had to get out. Again, I will make a whole separate video of Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and we'll go more in depth into my story. I don't want to say in depth. I'm going to keep it short and cute because y'all not going to know everything. But yeah, your girl almost got arrested and stranded out in Nigeria. Basically got scammed, but everything worked out when the team GM, I believe it was GM, whatever. If you get caught in Nigeria for something, just give them some money, and you will walk free. All right, they look to arrest people or scammers. They look for that because they just gonna bribe you for some money. So give them some money and you'll be free. That's what happened. Short and quick. But yes, land of the scammers. Y'all don't kill me. I love y'all. I love you, Nigerian people. I do thank the Nigerian national team for the opportunity. I really do. But again, I have to speak the truth on what I went through. That's it. That's all. Will I go back to Lagos, Nigeria? Probably not. But another con is the community. I found that 50-50. I found that when it came to sports, they were very loving. They love basketball. They love the experience of when we were playing, especially women's basketball. It felt like I was at an NBA game. Like, that's how loud the people were when they were cheering and just, banging on their drums. But also, I experienced that the people can be very rude and then turn around and want to get in a prayer circle. So, take it how you want. Another con that I found, and I am sensitive about saying this, but this was an issue, was hygiene. Hygiene conditions are problematic, especially outside of the larger cities, but, you just gotta whiff for bust. I don't know why. I know they have access to deodorant and soaps, of course, but that was a thing. I think it was just maybe the hustle nature of Lagos, of Nigeria, just always being out in that hot weather, outside, just hustling, doing what you have to do. People have to eat. So, but hygiene was definitely a con when I was there. Another con is heavy traffic, just like in Accra, Ghana, in Lagos, Nigeria. That traffic is crazy. And again, you have the controlled chaos. Listen, lines on the street to keep cars in their lane, it don't even exist. It don't matter. You have literally a whole bunch of cars because there's traffic going on, buses swerving in and out of the lanes with people walking in the street, kids, adults on their bikes selling stuff. You have all this going on the roads, on the highway. It was ridiculous. My teammates, had to close the blinds, the windows while we're on the bus because they literally were getting so anxious that they didn't even want to get on the bus to drive back to the hotel or from the hotel to the gym. It's ridiculous. And they drive so fast, but again, control chaos. They're so used to driving like that it's normal to them. But for us Americans that follow the rules to the roads, stay in our lanes, we turn on our blinkers when we want to switch lanes. I don't even turn on their blinkers. But anyways, we turn on our blinkers to swerve to get in the other lane. Just know that traffic lights, the lines, the whatever to keep the cars in their lanes don't exist. Don't exist at all. Control chaos. So when you're out there, you're traveling, close them blinds, don't look out the window, put on your music, and just act like it's not happening. Just know you're going to get to your destination safely. Okay? Lastly, when it comes to cons is the security concerns. So just like any other city, just be smart when you're out there walking at night. Do not walk by yourself. Pay attention to your belongings. So there are, petty thefts, robbery, just like any other place you travel to. And with Nigeria, scammers. All right, here's your 5 seconds for the pros and cons list. Pause this video to write it down. All right, on to the next city. Habibi! Honestly, this is, I told y'all, like, it's not based on what I like the most, what I like the least, but honestly, I love Egypt. I loved Egypt. When I was there with my family, we traveled, I believe they say up the Nile River. Down, it's opposite. So I think up is going down and down, it's going up the Nile River. I believe that's what I learned when I was there. But anyways, I'm going to be talking about Cairo and just briefly other cities there. But Habibi, I love Egypt. So my family and I went out there with a travel group. I will link the travel group name in the notes below. So if you want to reach out to them, you can. They are not sponsoring this video. I just loved how they organized everything and that they were very professional. I had a great time, and the experiences and attractions that we got to see were all based on them. And then our wonderful tour guide that they hooked us up with, I will link his name and information down there as well. But an overview of Egypt, it is rich history with modern city life attracting tourists and expats alike. Just to talk about, again, my experiences, the people, where I went. So the places I visited was Cairo, Aswan, the Nubian village. Favorite place, by far my favorite place. And we took the Amouage, again, I might be destroying these words, but Livingston cruise, visited Hurghada, and I'm gonna write down these names as well because I know I'm butchering them. So American of me, tragic. I will just talk about each place as well in a separate video, specifically just all about Egypt, Cairo, etc. The pros of Egypt is the affordable cost of living, the breathtaking landmarks, of course, and a deep connection to African culture that, they like to hide in America, but we know the truth. As African Americans, we know the truth. And also the Middle Eastern culture that is there as well. Breathtaking landmarks, which I will post pictures while I am talking about Egypt throughout this whole entire section, so you can just see all the landmarks that I got to see, the beautiful body of water, and especially the Nubian village. The place that we got to stay was like it was like a hut, a modernized hut that we got to stay in the Nubian village. Very colorful, very beautiful. The food was delicious, obviously. So just pay attention to the pictures that I will post during this section. Talking about the affordability, it's a very affordable country for expats. So everyday expenses are cheaper in Egypt compared to the United States, but salaries for expats in Egypt may be lower compared to the United States. So a single person monthly expenses will average around $324, excluding rent, and a couple or family is around $500 to $1,000. Most popular expat communities are primarily located in Cairo, but if you're not interested in Cairo, Heliopolis is another popular choice for wealthy Egyptians and African American expats. Yeah, ladies, I'll say it again. Heliopolis. Again, if I'm butchering the word, I'm so sorry. I did look it up how to say it. He's just struggling. But is another popular choice for wealthy Egyptians. So if you're trying to find, your mans, I'll say look into that city. I got you. Right now, the communities, the cities have seen a lot of political unrest. Again, I will go more in depth when I make a separate video on Egypt. So that could be a con for sure, of course. But, as African Americans, we know what political unrest is in our own country as well. And it ain't stopping nothing. The job opportunities in Egypt is really based around tourism. So they have a tourism industry, and it's one of the biggest contributors to the economy there. Are always, opportunities for foreigners in roles such as hotel management, tour guides, and language interpretation. So look more into that if you are interested in the tourism industry. The climate there is from mild to hot for most of the year, with temperature hitting around 93 Fahrenheit in the summer and 64 Fahrenheit in the winter. So super hot and not too cold. I can admit that when I was out there, I didn't see a single cloud. Honestly, I was out there baking and cooking, but again, I love that. So I was happy. My brother, on the other hand, he was not happy. He was in pain, and I loved it. And I got a super tan, which that was my goal. But again, depends on what you look for in weather. If you like cold weather, do not go to Egypt. If you like super hot weather, Egypt is your place. So overall, the quality of life underneath the pro section is good for those who appreciate low cost of living, access to rich history and culture, warm weather, and a vibrant social scene. But the cost of living in Egypt is going up day by day. So in 2025, it might be different, of course. Keep an eye out for it. And again, the rich history there, the landmark there is breathtaking. And I also want to add that the people there are beautiful, gorgeous people, very positive, very loving. I don't know how many times we got called cousins and, welcome home. Again, they may have been manipulating us into buying things because, I heard that more when we visited the landmark, but whatever. I took it with a big heart. I loved it. I love hearing it. And I honestly am following like three Egyptian friends that I made out there now on Instagram, and we keep in touch. They want me to come back. I want to come back, and I'm looking forward to coming back soon, exploring the nightlife there, and just being in Egypt all over again because I did truly love it. Now, for the cons in Egypt, you have air pollution and occasional political instability and also safety. So I did touch a little bit on the political unrest there, but with air pollution, particularly in large cities like Cairo, is an issue, mainly because of the traffic congestions. Again, it's a big tourist spot, so that makes sense. And open burning of waste, and there may be more, but those are the two big contributors to their pollution. And I will go more into that again in a separate video. The political instability there. So under their new president, El-Sisi, Egypt faces economic challenges with heavy debt and political unrest. And they are also facing terrorism at the moment. It may change in 2025, but this is just what they're going through as of now. The safety there, again, just like any other place, there's always going to be a little bit of safety issues, but here in Egypt, they exercise a high degree of caution due to the threat of the terrorism that I mentioned. So, and other crimes like armed robbery, sexual assault, and carjacking, especially after dark. You should never go anywhere after dark, especially by yourself, especially if you're female. Just don't do it, especially if you're in another country. Just be smart. Have street smarts, you guys. And I want to add also that a plus that I wrote down, there is a risk for LGBTQ travelers because there is little public acceptance of same-sex relationship in Egypt. So just keep that in mind as well. But when I traveled, everything was good. I felt the people were loving, but again, every city, every country is going to have their problems. You just have to be smart when you're traveling. Do not travel alone. Always have your bag closely on you. Don't just leave it out anywhere. Focus on keeping your car safe. Again, carjacking, but if your car gets jacked, it's not much you can do about that. And sexual assault, do not walk home alone at night. Do not travel anywhere alone especially at night, and just be smart, be safe. So again, Habibis, here is your 5 seconds of pros and cons list that I talked about on Egypt. So pause the video. All right, on to the next. Luanda, Angola is our fourth city. And I was here again for basketball with the Nigerian team. This was a different Nigerian team. It wasn't a national team. It was like a Nigerian club, I believe the Nigerian Elephants. As soon as I got straight out of college at NC State Go Pack, that was one of my first overseas experience. Playing as a professional was in Angola, and I loved it. Angola was beautiful. Again, the community loved them some basketball. I couldn't even call out the plays. Like my teammates couldn't even hear me because it was so loud. They were playing with loud drums. Every team was there. It was packed out in a big arena. Again, I'm going to try to find pictures to add on to this video. The overview of Luanda, Angola is Luanda is one of Africa's wealthiest cities, known for its oil industry. It's the capital of Angola and has a beautiful metropolitan city equipped with modern roads and architecture. The pros of Luanda, Angola is opportunities for professional in energy and infrastructure and a unique fusion of African and Portuguese culture, which is very, very true. You can see it in their buildings and their art is very beautiful. For the job opportunities, again, opportunities for professionals in energy and infrastructure. So significant in the oil, mining, and infrastructure sectors. African American expats are primarily in energy and NGO sectors. The communities out in Luanda, Angola. So again, you have Internations here as well, and it's an online platform where expats can connect. Oh my gosh, are y'all okay? Stop fighting! I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. Had to be a mod for a second. But back to the communities. Internation, an online platform where expats can connect, share information, and find events to meet other expats from various countries. And, same thing like they had in Egypt, I believe, where the Internation was, or maybe it was Nigeria. Whatever, y'all wrote down in notes, y'all know. But again, they have a community where they help African Americans, other expats, and from other countries to just have a platform that will help them settle into moving into Luanda, Angola. I want to touch more into the communities because there is a gated compounds area in Luanda, so primary community for expats. Most expats reside due to access to the Luanda International School and generally higher quality housing with security features. So I will go more in depth into this when I make a separate video on Luanda, but it seems like most of the African Americans, most of the Black expats from other countries move into the gated communities. The climate there in Luanda was hot. Of course, I was there during the summer. I want to say I got out of school around end of June, early July, and I remember it being super high again. I got my nice little tan, so I enjoyed it. Just to give an overview of the climate again, climate is mild and semi-hot. The summers are short but hot with an overcast, and winters are short but comfortable. It's humid, dry, and mostly clear. The temperature typically varies from 67 to 87 Fahrenheit and is rarely below 64 or above 90 Fahrenheit. So again, you have your hot weather, not too hot, doesn't go above 90, and then not too cold, doesn't go below 67. The cons of Luanda, Angola are high cost of living, there is a language barrier, and unfortunately, safety. When it comes to affordability there, compared to the other African cities, countries that I just talked about, Luanda is extremely expensive. Okay, so with the city often ranking as one of the most costly places in the world. So again, it's extremely expensive. Due to high housing costs, so a two-bedroom apartment can easily cost upwards of $5,000 per month. So you're getting into New York prices here, LA prices. So just think about that when you're thinking about moving to Luanda, that you're basically going to be spending New York and LA prices on a two-bedroom apartment. What's the point? Like, it's up to you. Safety. Rwanda has a high crime rate, just like Egypt a little bit. So don't walk don't walk alone at night by yourself. You know, criminals have kidnapped foreigners here. Yeah. So in Egypt, you had like the carjacking, sexual assault. Rwanda, you have the kidnapping. So again, be smart. And they kidnapped people from vehicles. And avoid dressing expensively. So dress conservatively. Because if you walk around being flashy with your watch, with your jewelry on, it might get took. So just be smart when you go to Luanda. When I was there, I was with the team. I was never alone. I never walked alone at night. And if I did, it was by a grocery store that was right next to the hotel. So it was just right there. And I walked with a teammate. And when we got to visit like the government center in the city, again, I was with my team, with the coaching staff, and we got around on a bus. So I was not alone. I did not experience these things. Again, because I was not alone, I was not walking alone at night. A lot of problems can not come up if you're just, smart about it, but not being alone. I am really highlighting on being alone so much because a lot of freaking issues happen when you're in a new country by yourself and you're walking alone at night. People will try to take advantage of you. Again, they smell American on you. And still, when they think of America, they think of money. And people want money. So if you're being flashy, you add that onto it as well, then you're going to get robbed. Just don't do it. Another con is the language barrier there. Again, not a lot of people speak English. They speak Portuguese there. So if you're planning on traveling, just brush up on your Portuguese. You should be fine. Their English is so-so. They know the basic words, just like if you try to learn Spanish in high school and it didn't stick, and you go to a Spanish-speaking country and they start speaking Spanish to you fluently, you're gonna know, the typical "Hola, adios, mucho gusto," no habla español. It is equivalent to that. So if you're trying to have an in-depth conversation, it's not going to happen. You're better off finding a translator, or if you know Portuguese, good for you. You're going to get far in Luanda, Angola. Overall, the quality of life there is so-so. I say so-so because affordability is big for me, especially if I'm trying to escape America, where everything is so expensive. I wouldn't want to move to another country that's expensive. And then the safety, the crime rate there. But again, just try to be smart. But the mixed culture that ties into it, especially with the African culture and Portuguese, is just so beautiful. The people there are so beautiful. They're kind. The beach, gorgeous. I will have to say that there was some trash on the side of the road, side of the streets. But again, if you go to New York, you're going to see the same thing. So quality of life, in my opinion, is just so-so. And I just realized I didn't give my thumbs up. So for Egypt, thumbs up. Luanda, Angola, I give it a middle. That affordability thing, that's a big one for me. I don't want to go like this because it is beautiful. The people there are beautiful, so I'm gonna give it a middle. Yeah. Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. I love y'all. I swear I love y'all. I'm just so big on treating people with respect. And y'all just didn't do that for me. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. I'm so sorry. But it's not me moving there. This video is for y'all. So if you want to move to Lagos, Nigeria, again, they have a huge African American community, expat community. You can live there in peace. Okay. Move on to the next. I'm sorry. This is the video where you can pause it for 5 seconds while I list the pros and cons for you to write down. All right, on to our last city, our last country. I just want to say that Tanzania, absolutely loved it. I was in Zanzibar, but I know Dar es Salaam, people talk about that a lot in Tanzania, but today I'm specifically going to talk about Zanzibar. What are y'all doing? Okay. I'm specifically going to talk about Zanzibar. I freaking love Zanzibar. I'm honestly right now looking into moving into a condo there because, yeah, that's the place for me. An overview of Zanzibar. For those seeking a quieter, tropical lifestyle, Zanzibar is your paradise. And again, as I mentioned, Dar es Salaam is also another great city in Zanzibar. People talk about that a lot as another popular tourist spot. But again, on this video, I'm just talking about Zanzibar. The places I visited in Zanzibar is Maru Maru, Stone Town City. So we took a tour there. We saw the slave dungeons. And Stone Town is like a maze. Honestly, if we didn't have our tour guide, I would get lost every single day because you're literally walking in between stone buildings. Easy to get lost, but the people there are lovely. They will guide you back to wherever you're trying to go. We got to visit their market there. They had clothes. They had this one section where it was fresh meat and fish out. We couldn't even walk into it because the smell was so strong, so potent, because that was fresh fish straight out of the water. It was right there. We couldn't do it. It was just too strong. But it was a lovely experience to see food grown naturally or taken care of naturally, because again, in America, I don't even have to say it. There's 30 countries that won't take our food. That should tell you enough. Staying in the SK Zalu Beachfront Resort. We saw the beautiful Indian Ocean. We swam in it. Tour real estate investment. And shout out to Ashley's Africa Investor Summit group. I will again post her link, the group information, her YouTube channel as well. She has a great YouTube channel talking about living in Africa, the different countries in Africa. But we were there, my family and I were there with her group. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely had a great time. We were there seeing how we can contribute our money into helping the infrastructure and the tourist industry in Zanzibar. So I will make a separate video about Zanzibar as well, get more in depth in that. But her information will be linked down in the show notes. All right, so the pros of Zanzibar: stunning beaches. Again, I have so many pictures of Zanzibar, but I will post just a few so you can get an idea of it. But go on Google, please go on Google and just search of Zanzibar beaches. Freaking lovely. Affordable living, slower pace of life, like I mentioned. The beaches that are there that we got to see were Nungwi. You have Kindwa Beach on the north side of the island, and the beaches on the east side of Zanzibar are more peaceful, tranquil, and laid back. Going into the affordability of Zanzibar, so it's very affordable. Honestly, your dollar goes a long way there. Thanks to the cheap housing, food, and local transportation there as well. And when I say cheap housing, I'm not saying it's run down. No, 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 no. The housing, the hotels we stayed in, absolutely gorgeous. And I love the fact that they tie in modern like infrastructure or modern buildings, but they tie in their culture into the housing as well. You can achieve a comfortable lifestyle on a budget in Zanzibar, around like $1,000 per month there, and a one-bedroom apartment in a decent area can be rented for around $200 to $300 per month. I know that my mom mentioned there was a condo. I believe it was in Dar es Salaam or maybe in Zanzibar. I have to ask her again, but it was a condo going for like $600 a month. Baby, I live in a condo now in Atlanta, and it's $1,250 a month, and I'm not even including HOA, which is more than like $500. And that condo is bigger than my condo, and no, it's just come on, you can't beat that. Safety in Zanzibar, so it's considered a safe place for expats, for African Americans, with the crime rate significantly lower than many other parts of Africa. However, just like any tourist destination that I keep saying, you need to be mindful of petty crimes like pickpocketing and bag snatching. So, just to speak more on the safety aspect, when I was there, like I mentioned, Stone Town, Ashley would tell us, like, if we get lost, separated from the group, just ask the people, where do I need to go in Stone Town? Like, what direction can you direct me to my hotel? Just tell them the hotel name, and they will literally tell you how to get there, or they will guide you there. What other place in the country, or well, yeah, in the country or any other place in other countries, can you go and ask someone, hey, I live in so and so hotel. Can you tell me how to get there? And they literally guide you there or tell you how to get there. And once you get there, they leave you alone. That's it. And you probably, while you're walking, have good conversation. The people there were just lovely. Always smiling, always waving. The kids were always outside playing. They one time wanted to play with my brother and I, but we suck at football, aka soccer in the United States. But yes, the safety there, I felt safe. That would be one place that if I needed to get something at night, I would. But again, I'm not trying to test that, so just don't do it. But that would be one place where I will feel more comfortable doing that. And we actually had a guy with the group. Shout out to Joe. He did get lost, and it was at night, and he was texting the WhatsApp group chat, and he was, trying to call us, but everybody was asleep or people were getting drinks or eating, and he found his way back because he asked, a local to guide him back to the hotel. So he was fine. Communities there in Zanzibar. So again, I'm going to mention Ashley's Africa Investors Group. Ashley, on the first night, we went to another African American lady who moved to Zanzibar. Her name was Ashley as well. We went to her restaurant. It was like a mixture of like Caribbean food. And then she also told us that the next night she was having like salsa night. But it was cool to meet someone from America, moved and made a way of life, made a lovely life, a thriving business right there in Stone Town in Zanzibar. And then she had two of her other friends that were there that we got to meet. Beautiful African American women. They were working remotely. So of course, if you work remote, that is a big plus because you can travel anywhere and still get your job done, still get paid. But Zanzibar being so affordable, that would be a good place to check out to live. But in all, what I'm saying is that there is an African American community out in Zanzibar, and they are thriving. They have their own businesses, and they're making a lovely life there and living affordably, and their dollar is going a long way. And also, I want to say, Ashley, I apologize for not showing up to salsa night. I knew I said it was coming, but after that day, we all just went to bed, baby. We all went to bed early. I'm gonna come back though. But again, I'm going to link Ashley's African Investor Summit links in the show notes, Ashley's YouTube page in the show notes, and I can also go more in depth of my experience with traveling with her and with her group and her lovely daughter as well. She was so cute. So thank you, Ashley, as well. The climate there in Zanzibar, you have that tropical hot climate, hot and humid year round, and the temperature are high with less rain between June and October, and the long rain period from March to May. When I was there, it was hot, it barely rained. The climate was very beautiful, very hot. I definitely got the humid part. It was definitely tropical. So yeah, if you love hot weather, Zanzibar is your place. If you don't, Zanzibar is not your place. Now the cons of Zanzibar, even though Zanzibar has no cons. Just kidding. The cons of Zanzibar is limited opportunities for professional growth outside of tourism and hospitality. This is true because when we were there and we were speaking to people in the government that can help us start our business there, they are really focusing on improving the tourist side, and they pride themselves on other jobs being ran by the locals. So if you are thinking about starting a business out in Zanzibar, hit up Ashley first and foremost. She will get you started and give you the right context that you need to know how to start a business in Zanzibar. But right now they are just focused on building the tourist aspect and industry out in Zanzibar, because they're having a lot of people travel there, but they want people to come back, especially younger folks. They travel there and feel like there's not a lot of activities to get into. They want that nightlife. They want the club. They want other options other than, the beach, nice food, nice people. The quality of life is a rewarding life, a beautiful life, a peaceful life in Zanzibar for African American expats, because, again, of the beautiful beaches, kind and loving locals, many outdoor activities, and still live a comfortable lifestyle on a low budget. But things to consider are internet connection, slow pace of life. So if you don't like slow pace of life, if you don't like that lifestyle, Zanzibar is not for you. At the moment, they're still building up to where you can have a faster lifestyle, a nightlife, and internet connection. Some places you will be in the dark, which I'm fine. I like to disconnect every now and then, but if you want to have connection, most of the time, I will look into moving into Stone Town, Dar es Salaam, one of those bigger cities where you have more of a tourist aspect connections there. If you are looking for a slower pace of life or want to contribute to the tourist industry there in Zanzibar, beautiful beaches, beautiful people, great food, a big African American expat community, Zanzibar is your place. So, 5 seconds, pause this video, pros and cons will be listed starting. We are at the end of the video. Remember, every city, every country is going to have their own thing that will help them stand out. It's all about what you're looking for in the lifestyle you want to live. But I will have a quick summary to help you decide at the end of the video. Again, just how I did the pros and cons list. I will have a list of the cities, the countries that I spoke about at the end, and their big overview of the qualities that they will bring if you decide to move there. And I will also have a separate video for each city as well, going more into depth. Here are a few quick tips for African American expats deciding to move to Africa. So 1, do your research. 2, secure housing early. So platforms like Airbnb and local Facebook groups can help you find temporary or long-term accommodations. 3, learn the language if necessary. So if you're moving to Luanda, Angola, remember they speak Portuguese there. Okay. And also, what I forgot to add is Zanzibar, they speak Swahili there as well, but their English is really good, so you'll be able to get by. 4, connect with communities, whether it's a co-working space in Ghana or like a beachside cafe in Zanzibar. Just find places where African American expats and locals can gather and just help you navigate in the new city, in the new area, because everyone knows moving can be hard and you're going to be alone for a while, but just finding those communities early can just help ease the transition into moving into a new country. And 5, embrace the culture. Have an open mind. That will always help you, and just adjust to new customs and traditions. Don't go in thinking that this country is going to be just like your city out in America. That's not going to happen, especially in Africa, especially if you move to Zanzibar. Their Muslim culture as well. You really don't want to expose yourself too much if you're a female. And again, with Egypt, you don't want to be too flashy. So just take those in mind when you're deciding to move to another country and to these countries in Africa. So moving to Africa is a huge step, but it can be a rewarding step, a rewarding decision in your life. Just take the right preparations before doing so. And that's what I'm here to help. I'm here to help. The people that I list in the show notes also will help you as well. You will not be alone in this. Okay, so which city do you see yourself living in? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you liked about this video, what other countries you want to hear about, what other cities do you want me to talk about and research, or just let me know what you think. I love to hear your thoughts. So again, don't forget to subscribe if you want to hear more about African American expat life, my life living in these countries as an overseas professional basketball player, and also just a tourist. And hit the like button if this video helped you and if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video. Let me know which country or city you would like me to talk about. Again, I will make separate videos of the cities that I talked about in this. And here is your recap on those cities as well. Happy New Year's.